Hey everyone, I'm John. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing all of you how to set up your very own spirulina cultures. Now, if you found this video, then you've probably either bought spirulina recently and want to figure out how to get it all set up and ready to go, or you're thinking about buying some and you want to know how difficult it is, how expensive it would be, and just what you'll need for it. And in today's video, I'm going to show you all the parts you need and how to put everything together, as well as just some general setup tips. Let's get into it. So, the first thing you're going to need, the essential part, is a container. Well, two essential parts. First, you need a container like this one. This currently has 3 liters of water in it and just a top on it to prevent bugs and other stuff from flying into your spirulina, and just a rubber band to hold it in place. And the second part is your spirulina, which is this, some nice, dense, dark-looking spirulina that's going to get mixed in. So this is half a liter going into 3 liters, and normally we would recommend going 1 to 5, and this is a bit more than that, but because of how dark the spirulina is, it's capable of handling a little bit more. And so after that, you'll need a air pump and an air hose because you need to keep the spirulina circulating in the container so everything gets sunlight and just gets moved around. And this is just a nice little silicone tubing that we found, pretty soft, and with 2 washers to keep it down at the bottom of the container. And this is just a 10-gallon aquarium air pump that works perfectly for small containers. The next things you'll need are some sort of nutrients like this. This is the nutrient mix we sell, as well as some baking soda to add in also. So, getting everything set up. So, first thing we'll do is add the nutrients and baking soda to our container. So, pretty simple. Top comes off. It doesn't sound too bad on the microphone. And so for the nutrients, it says on the bag that we recommend 3.8 grams per liter or 1 tablespoon per gallon. And the tablespoon per gallon that's a pretty rough estimate. It doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't matter that much. But that or 3.8 grams per liter, which is what I'm going to use for this. So this is not much in it, but that's just what it looks like. Nice mix. Don't know if that's a good shot.
You can see that iron.
Yeah, and we will have a video coming out at a later date that breaks down what goes into our nutrient mix and just how everything works. So stay tuned for that. So we're just going to take, and we're looking for about 14 grams into this. So it's a big tablespoon. So like 2/3 of a tablespoon, that's how much is left. 2/3 of a tablespoon for 3 liters worth, roughly. We're going to take that and we just dump it in. That didn't work. And then just mix it around a little bit. Get it to dissolve. Oh, it'll happen. Then next up is our baking soda. So for the baking soda, it's roughly 16 grams per liter to add in. So take this, and 16 grams is also roughly a tablespoon as it happens. So we need 3 of those going in. So a nice full tablespoon. And that's 15 grams right there. So we're going to take 3 of those. And that's 50 grams total, so a little bit over, or a little under, actually. Close enough.
Close to... And calcium carbonate, so we use a little less. We use a little less than some people recommend, right?
Yeah, so our formula, some people recommend more in theirs, but included in our nutrient formula is calcium carbonate, which also raises the pH. Yeah, so the reason we're adding baking soda is because spirulina requires a very high pH to be able to live, usually 9 plus. So the baking soda and the calcium carbonate that's in our nutrient mix help raise the pH so that no other organisms can exist in the solution. So I'm going to pour this in. It's a little murky now. Shaking doesn't really work too well in this container, but if only that we had a top. It'd make it so much easier. And then, yeah, so next we take our spirulina and you just pour it in. Nice and dark. Looks good. That's a good looking culture, if I do say so myself. And now, so after that, you just take your pump and plug your hose into it. I know I don't have any electricity out here, so you won't get to see it running, but we'll take that and we're gonna run it up through a hole that was already poked in this container. This probably sounds terrible on the microphone. And then do that, put that around, make sure this is actually in it. And put the rubber band back around, and there you go. Ready to go. Now you attach this here and let it run. So now so that's everything you really need. So some people will say that you need a heater or something like that, but you don't really need a heater or something to keep it warm. If your house is warm enough and you have it in sunlight, it should stay at a good enough temperature. And the ideal temperature for spirulina is 70 to 90 degrees is when it's happy. Though one thing you'll want to avoid is when it's not very dense and in a fresh culture like this, you want to keep it out of direct sunlight or just out of direct light, because the direct sunlight can cause it to die and you don't want that to happen. Another thing, so back to the heaters like I was talking about before, is some people say to use aquarium heaters that you stick down in and they radiate the heat to keep it all warm. And we would advise against those, because while they keep the outside areas of it warm, they can cause the areas right around the heater to get hotter than the desired temperature, causing the spirulina in that area to die because it's too hot. Because fish can swim away from the heater, but the spirulina can't. And so for setup also, you can either run it with a light with lights next to it, or under your house lights, or in a windowsill or something to have light on it, because you don't want light or the pump running 24/7. You want around 12 to 14 hours a day on, the rest of the day off. So like run it during the day, have it in the light during the day, but that night let it just sit and recover. But yeah, I think that covers about anything. Any points I should add?
Chlorinated water.
Right. So if you are going to use your house water, tap water to put the spirulina into, you should get it tested or something, just to make sure there's no harmful things like chlorine. Chlorine is very bad for the spirulina, or lead or anything like that that can be sometimes found in well or tap water. So if you're not going to use water from bottles, I would recommend getting it tested before. And yeah, and we will have follow-up videos coming out about maintaining and then harvesting, as well as the one I mentioned earlier of what goes into our nutrient mix. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.